At the time that we founded Knowledge Infusion, I had actually been in this space, in the HR technology space, for around 13 years. And I started out as an HR practitioner working for a couple of global organizations, Swiss Bank Corporation, Seagate Technology, and then I went to PeopleSoft for 8 years. And so I'd had a lot of experience on both sides of the fence, both from the vendor perspective as well as the practitioner perspective. And I had a great experience at PeopleSoft, and it was really interesting. I had a tremendous exposure to global organizations, organizations really trying to change the way that they managed people through technology, et cetera. But one of the things I learned through all of this experience, and I probably met with maybe 150 organizations a year while I was at PeopleSoft, was that ultimately organizations were really struggling to really make a difference and really drive business value through their investments in HR technology. For me personally, it really built up into a level of frustration where I thought, gosh, I really want to take all of my personal experiences and really try to go out there and make a difference and have an impact on organizations. So one day I went to Jason and I said, you know what, Jason? I'm not making an impact the way that I know that I can in this industry, and I'm going to go out on my own. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to consult. I have enough relationships in the industry, enough PeopleSoft customers that I think I can partner with, and I'm just going to go out and use my knowledge and experience in a very, very different way and help organizations ultimately just get smarter about HR technology and really, really focus on how are they going to actually drive business results versus simply just automate HR processes. It was a very interesting time. This was 2004. So the market was in a very, very interesting state. PeopleSoft was in the process of being acquired by Oracle. It was very, very early stages of talent management. We didn't even call it talent management in the industry. But I really saw the vision and the potential that HR could experience through a different way of approaching technology and really looking at not the piece parts, but the whole, and really aligning HR systems to ultimately the business strategy and what you're trying to accomplish. So I went to Jason, told him I was leaving, and I worked for him at the time. And he actually, it was a very funny response. His very first reaction was, "Really? Can I join you?" It was great. So we had each independently always wanted to start our own company and do our own thing. I had actually started my own company in 4th grade, and with a barrette, I painted barrettes and actually made a lot of money with my barrettes. But I always knew I was an entrepreneur at heart. So I went to Jason and said, "I'm going to go and do this," and he asked to join forces. So from there, the conversation just evolved, and we very, very quickly, and in fact, within a couple of days of having this conversation over Instant Messenger, we actually came up with the name Knowledge Infusion. It was like probably a 2-minute IM chat, and I said, I was explaining some of my thoughts and my vision for the company, and I said, I really just want to infuse knowledge in organizations so that they can make better decisions and be more thoughtful about it. 5 minutes later, I go into his office and he said, "How about the name Knowledge Infusion as a name for the company?" So no big branding sessions. That's how we came up with the name. And then at the time, we actually lived only about a mile apart from each other. So our first meetings and business planning meetings were really took place at Starbucks. So that was kind of where the vision formed. And initially, honestly, we thought it was going to be the two of us. Maybe we would bring in another handful of folks from PeopleSoft, as particularly as it became very apparent that the Oracle acquisition would actually transpire. But then once we started consulting, we saw just the need really explode and mushroom, and the market was in a very, very interesting point where a lot of PeopleSoft customers were saying, "What now? What do we do?" And really, I would say the very early years of talent management and organizations starting to wake up and realize they needed to think differently. So from there, we just started getting more and more customers, and the value we were delivering to organizations was very tangible, and I think very, very different from what a lot of organizations had experienced with other consultancies in the past. And in fact, one of my favorite stories was with one of our earliest customers, HealthNet, and one of the VPs of HR there. I was probably about 5 hours into a workshop, and this woman interrupts me. She was VP of compensation, interrupts me, and she says, "What is it called that you do?" And I, being relatively new to consulting, was very much taken aback and was like, consulting? And her comment was that, she said, but it's very different than the other consultants that we've worked with. It's a very different approach to consulting. So to me, at that time, it was a little bit unnerving, that comment, but today I would say that that's been a very, very much a large part of our success at Knowledge Infusion, in that Jason and I came in being brand new to consulting and have continued to really look for practitioners, people who really have been there and really understand what it takes to be successful in HR in 2011. A lot of our consultants come from a practitioner background, some from a vendor background, but we really have invented the what and the how as we go along. And I actually attribute a lot of our success to that, because we're not weighted down by the past. We're not, our thinking is completely open to really fully listening to organizations and understanding what does the business need, and stepping back and being thoughtful about what do we need to do.